Alright, today we're going to be looking at how to use our graphing calculator to help us in looking at linear functions. So this is an example, your TI-84 Plus. This is the same graphing calculator that we have in our classrooms. And we want to show you how it is that you can plug in an equation, look at a graph, look at a table. So the first thing I want to point out is with this, kind of look at the buttons, make sure you understand kind of what they're asking. This y equals button, this is the one where you're going to be able to plug in any equation that you want as long as it's in a y equals format. So when we're talking about linear functions, we're talking about that slope-intercept form. So when I hit that y equals button, this is where I can plug in any equation. So let's say I want to plug in the equation 2x plus 4. So I've got 2. My x button is located right here, just to the right of my green alpha button. If you have a different variable in your equation, such as t or s or p, you will still use this same button and it will still show up as an x. So just keep that in mind, that any variable that you choose to represent that independent variable, when you plug into your calculator, you'll have to use that x. So again, we're doing y equals 2x plus 3. If I want to look at the graph, over here on the far right is my graph button. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that graph button, and you can see the line that goes through my graph. Now, if you're asked to graph something, although this gives you a good idea as to what it would look like, your best bet is to look at a table, plot your points, and then create your graph that way. So the way that you get to your table, notice above the graph button in blue is the word table. The way you access those blue features of each button is by using this second button. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the second button. Notice I get this arrow up here, which tells me that we're looking at the functions above the buttons. So then I hit the graph button, and there's my table. So when x is 0, I know my y is 3. When x is 1, my y is 5, and so on. So if I were to have to do a hand graph, I would use those coordinate pairs to plot my points and then create my graph. Let's go ahead and look at another function. So I'm going to clear this out just by hitting the clear button. And say I have the equation y equals 2/3 x plus 8. Anytime you have a fraction, you're going to want to put it in parentheses. So I'm going to go start parenthesis right above the 8. 2 divided by 3, there's my fraction 2/3. Again, hit my x button, and then plus 8. Now when I graph this, it disappears pretty quick over here in quadrant 1. So what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to extend my window a little bit. And I do that by hitting this window button just to the right of that y equals button. My x min is at -10. My x maximum is at 10. This x scale refers to all those little dots you see on the graph, so these little lines are going by ones. My y minimum is at -10. My y max currently is at 10, and again it's going by ones. What I want to do is I want to extend this window a little bit. So I'm going to change my x minimum to -20, my x maximum to +20. I'm going to keep my x scale at ones. My y minimum, I'm going to put at -20, and my y maximum, I'm going to put at +20, and I'm going to keep that scale at 1 as well. Now when I look at the graph, I can see a little bit more of that line. And again, when I look at my table, you can see these values as well. Now, notice we've got these decimal values. When it comes to me graphing by hand, the way that I do it is I always look at these whole number coordinate pairs. So when I come to plotting points, I would plot the point 0,8. Then I would plot the point 310. Then I would plot the point 612. And I would use those whole number pairs to help me in creating my graph, as opposed to using these decimal values. This is kind of a beginner intro to using the calculator. So if you can use those functions to help you in creating graphs, help you in looking at tables and analyzing those linear functions, that's about all you need to be able to do at this point. We'll create more videos as we go through the year, as we introduce new functions and new exciting things with the calculator. But as long as you can do those should be able to help you get started and do better on the test on Monday and Tuesday. If you have any questions about how to use the calculator, go ahead and come see Mr. Dunn or myself, and we'll be more than willing to help you.